Hi, everybody. Hey, Eleanor. So nice to meet you.
I ended up not going out of town, so I thought I would jump in here.
Amazing. I'm so excited that you came. How was your day today?
I'm still recuperating from a Scotland trip, so I've had a lot of problems with my feet. So I trying to take it easy today. I don't do that very well, so I've been cleaning house.
What happened with your feet? Are you okay?
Yeah, I think I walked too much and got maybe shin splints, and then of course the swelling that happens with flying sometimes.
Got it. I also have that. I totally get that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I actually just had recently foot surgery, and recovering from that has put me like into like this whole new game of life. Um, but now I'm pain free. So
Yay.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in. What we usually do on Fridays is we do a topic. I'll walk you around the platform. I don't know if you got a chance to look within the school. I have a lot of resources inside where I'll show you. I usually do a topic and then we have some guest speakers, here. So I'll walk you around after that. But I'm going to start today with our topic. So I'm just going to take a minute to, okay. Escape. Okay. Can you guys see? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Okay. Always getting the slides ready takes me a little bit. Okay, so welcome to this Friday's Real Talk. I labeled today Overwhelmed to Organize for your monthly money reset. I'm Margot Master, your heartfelt CFO, and I am truly, oh wait, we are recording, double checking that. Okay, I'm really excited to share this with you. My content comes from working with different clients, and I hope you enjoys today's what I prepared. So falling behind on finances, we find lots of times it's been coming around for clients to the tune of about 5 hours a week on administrative. I actually did this exercise with a client of ours, a few client of ours, and she saved almost about 8 to 9 hours a week, which was really, really transformative. And it was exciting to see these few clients. One saved about 8 to 9, another one was around 6. And it was really exciting to see that they were able to gain the time and how we were able to work that. Receipts are everywhere, and you're still wondering if you're in the right place, you are not alone. So, what we see why therapists are struggling is that no one really taught you in school systems for business, budgeting tools, time saving financial habits, and the result, unfortunately, it leads into chaos, confusion, and burnout. So, the cost of no system, what we have seen as well is unfortunately missed write-offs, so not really maximizing tax deductions, wasted hours, always behind, less profit, and more stress. So what's happening with the less profit and more stress is that because there's more stress, you're thinking that you need more sessions, and it's really about mastering your numbers than necessarily anything else. So that feeling of always behind is, for me, I remember feeling like that for a long time until I really sat with that and leaned into that and learned through clients of what was really happening. And I want to share a lot with that to you today. So without a system, your finances run you, and I want to help make that stop. So the solution is a reset and a repeatable process that you can do. Now, we set this up in terms of once a month, but you can also make this your own, maybe like on a weekly or on a daily process so that you can curate it to fit your needs. So like therapy is consistency matters, it's the same thing with money. So the three-part system is review what came in. So let's say income by client or service. I like to tell clients to do it by both, to be honest. Now, you may not track both, but I like both, and I'll tell you for different reasons. So by service is that when we first started to work with clients in the mental health industry, what I saw was happening is that there was like a wide variety of services that was being offered, and it wasn't necessarily zeroing in on what was making money. By client, what was happening is what I was seeing is that we were taking what we can get and not really seeing and monitoring the type of client that was actually honoring and respecting our system of our business, or maybe even close. Maybe like none of the clients are at a point until you really refine this. Tracking what went out. So that's a mixture of expenses, subscriptions, and surprise costs. Surprise cost has been something really, really something that I've been seeing over the past few months, that there's like these random costs that are not being accounted for. And checking your bottom line, coming home with more, what's left, and needing to adjust. So adjusting in these types of scenarios is really the situation. Now, your business lots of times could be not exactly mental health. It can be a spin-off of different things. So these concepts really apply to wherever you are, however you're taking the business. What I'm seeing a lot in mental health is that clients are going to different dimensions because of maybe services, because of fees, because of where the clientele is taking them. I remember when I started my business, what happened is that I began with just bookkeeping, and now we're a full service tax firm. So we meet our clients where they're at along the entrepreneurial journey so that it's not separate. It's part of the process. And it's the same thing with you too, right? It's seeing where your ideal clients are and adjusting from there. So your bottom line to know is that what's left, and if there's something that you need to adjust, and then curating from there. Because lots of times we think that everything is a problem or it's very hard to change a part of the process. But I really want to share with you is that let's prioritize so that you can change parts of the system and that you can make the system work more for you. And not that you're afraid or that it's owning you, but it's not bringing you towards easier business goals. And when you meet with clients, that all of these things are hanging in your mind. So here are some tools that will make it easier for you. And I would love if you shared things that made it easier for you too, but some simple things that we see working, and you can implement and take one thing or take all depending on where you're at with this. Definitely QuickBooks Online for your monthly accounting, daily, and all of the in between. There's tax planning. There's so many things that you can do. Wave is also another app that we've seen a lot of clients come from. And lots of times they end up going with QuickBooks because it's just more of a comprehensive program. Google Sheets, but you can't go wrong with either, to be honest. It really depends upon the purpose. Google Sheets for low tech tracking. Now, it's not a long-term way of doing things, but it definitely helps in so many ways. Calendar reminders, set it and stick to it. I also say with calendar reminders, how you label it is so important. Like if you label it reviewing books, working on taxes, no one's going to attend that. Not even me, and being in the business. Okay, you want to label it in a way that you're actually going to attend to it, or just like you would attend to it for like a paid client. Treat yourself as a paid client and how you're doing it too. You know, we always think that the business is a full reflection of that. It's something personal of us. Well, I want to shift the perspective there, and that look at the business as outside of you. Okay. And when the business is outside of you, it's like, what does the business need? You're the creator of this business. It doesn't mean that because something didn't work, it's a reflection. But what it means is that you did the best with what you can with the information that you had, and you're going to work from there. Now, cloud storage for receipts is another huge thing. There's Google Drive and Dropbox. Google Drive is our go-to. Clients just really take to it. But you can't go wrong with Dropbox also. There's some things on the side for my personal life that I use for Dropbox. So it really is what works. And I'm curious what you would add to this. So to automate or to delegate. Now, you don't have to do it all. Automating is recurring expenses and invoices. Delegating is something like bookkeeping, categorizing, and reconciliations. So focus on only what you can do. Now, recurring expenses to automate. Now, I like to think about with expenses that things that are like credit based, that I set those on auto pay. So let's say like a credit card, mortgage, and those types of things that would be attached to that. All expenses that you agree are important to pay on time or as close to on time as possible. But the way I label or uh, prioritize things is that, let's say a credit card bill, you don't want to miss those because that can affect hit your credit. But if you're paying down a credit, at least set it to the minimum so that you're not missing deadlines. Now, obviously, you can budget in higher amounts and those types of things, but the goal is to maximize your time and get the most done. So having intention around this. Now, invoicing, I found for our clients has been a huge, I don't want to call it mess, but it's called, in Hebrew, it's called like a balagan, which means like a maze and like a jungle where, there could be a lot of open accounts receivable, and it wasn't really part of the onboarding process. We do have in school a recording from Michael. I think it was around 2 weeks ago, maybe it was like 3 weeks ago, and he talked about a lot of automation for onboarding. I specifically had him record those things because I felt that a lot of our clients and our members here of the school platform are really struggling with that, or they don't know that they're struggling to a degree of how to take care of those things that are loose ends. So you'll find a lot of help and support with that and direction. Now, delegating bookkeeping, obviously this is what I do, and there's no reason not to delegate it. However, in the platform, we do have a spreadsheet that if you're in a DIY or for whatever reason you're not ready to, we do have a DIY spreadsheet to help you track expenses and income with your bottom line, so that, and then there's a video that comes with it. And this tool I specifically created on Excel by month so that you can track that and that you're ready for taxes. Ideally, you delegate bookkeeping, and we would love to be your partner. However, sometimes there's parts or all of this, and we found this past tax season above usual, where our clients who had just tax returns, getting their numbers were really difficult. And what I did was I took what I saw clients have hardships and I made it into a process. So focus on what you can do. Start with one thing. I always say start with the hardest and go down with your prioritization. And I say the hardest is because that's probably the area of opportunity. And when that area of opportunity is, just take it backwards, whatever that goal is, and then put the steps there backwards for you to work into. Now, this is your financial self-care. So simplifying your workflow is self-care for your business. I'll be honest with you. If I didn't have my financial self-care, I would not be able to do things that I want to do for myself because I wouldn't know what I can spend. I mean, let's be real, right? Being a woman can be expensive, and men too, right? We all have upkeep on the personal level, and people say where they want to spend and don't want to spend. But outside of this all, we need to take care of ourselves as business owners. And if you don't, it ends up being a direct reflection on what happens in business. I find that our clients who take care of themselves more versus others and spend time on that is really, you can see the difference on the results, because what happens is how we do one thing and how we do it is another. Over time, clients improve and they do more. However, until we really work through the process and make it a priority, will it be something that we attend to? So what I'd love for you to do is take the next step, block 60 minutes each month and make that a non-negotiable. Now, if 60 minutes a month seems far-fetched, maybe like 20 minutes a week and break it down and make the process yours. But we made this into like a monthly process so that you have a place to start. Now, you always have our Friday Q&As. You can look at the schedule so that you can always come back with questions around these or start posting into the group and ask the questions that way of different things, and let's make it a conversation. Try your first reset this week. Let us know how it goes. Always ask for help. We're always here with you. I built this community in school specifically because I saw with our clients, there's no support and everybody feels like they're doing it alone, but you're not. And there's so many common qualities that we have to work through, and life is hard enough. And then when we decide to be a business owner, it can be even harder because we think we should know it all, have it all, but at the same time, you're paid for your expertise and there's a lot of area of opportunity in there to grow. So what I want to say is that let's reset your workflow, book your time for your monthly reset call with me. You can always do that too. And let's be clear around the chaos and the finances and build a system that gives you back your energy, peace, and mind. And I welcome you to schedule a call, and there's no obligation there. It's a part of a gift for being part of our community. And I'm going to walk you through also some resources that are in the platform. We're also trying to organize it more. So if anybody has ideas, we're also open to that. But I invite you to work on, scheduling the call with me and clearing the chaos. What I'll say is like this also is like whatever is in your mind, take it down to like a paper and really jot it down. There's times even myself as a CFO where I have a lot of things that I'm working on, and I have my go-to people of what I'm working on because there's always somebody who's done it and better and that they can lead me. And with that in mind, I'll tell you, I was on a call with my financial advisor this week. And, for my bigger level of planning outside of taxes and the business and things. And I always come out of those calls, like I feel like I'm my own cheerleader again, getting to a place where having somebody who helps you on those steps. And a lot of people jump to financial advisor versus before having bookkeeping and tax planning in place. And I can say is if you follow the process here, your future wealth creation will be so much easier because it's just going to build into each other. There's a lot less work. Your numbers are clear, your numbers are correct, and you're working off of a accurate picture of what's actually happening. So I actually want to go back and I want to focus on this. Block the 60 minutes, try your first reset, ask for help. So like whatever happened, if you feel like 60 minutes and like you only want to do it once a month, perfect. If 60 minutes is a lot, then block 30. 60 minutes, you got a good time. You could put like a timer. When I was first doing these things like 10 years ago plus, and I was doing it for myself, I would do like these little cues of things to help keep myself on target. Life was falling apart around me in a lot of different ways, and there was a lot of expectations. And the only way to do things was meet myself where I'm at and then start from there. And what I usually do when I do this for myself, I do this honestly on the daily. I spend probably now 3 to 6 minutes a day, because I'm doing it often. It just became how my operating system works so that I can do things, but depending on where you are, make it your own. So wait, hold on. I wanted to go back to one other slide. Now, going back into automating or delegating, a lot of people, or maybe like me, I was used to pen and paper when I was doing, and sometimes I still am. I walk around with a notebook. I have to have a bigger pocketbook because I always have to have a notebook. However, the bigger things that really run the business, that are harder and more time consuming, that runs the business itself, is on automation. Now, you can intact with the automation, make it your own, but there's a place to start. Now, the advantage to delegating also, where I want to say is in bookkeeping, is that the maximization of bookkeeping and categorizing your expenses pays for it alone. And the sounding board to do it together with somebody, it's like you can never go wrong. So if you're not profitable, congratulations, we're going to figure it out. If you are profitable and you want to be more, Congratulations. We're still going to figure it out. No matter which direction you are, there's always a learning curve. And the learning curve is what we get to do together, or you get to start doing it on your own and then bring it here, or continue to work it on your own, depending on where you want to be. So I congratulate you for actually listening to this, because having a monthly reset with your money is really something not everybody elects to do. And I am so proud of you and so grateful that you are listening to this. If you choose to listen and to book the call with me, we will have fun. You're always invited to come onto the Q&As and benefit as well. So I hope you enjoyed this today. And as always, any questions, let me know.